There are many points of conjecture in the automotive world, but one of them, emphatically not, is that the 288 GTO is the best looking modern Ferrari, because, I'm afraid, girls and boys, it is. You can see why commentators back in the day couldn't quite work out or reconcile the Porsche's technology with the Ferrari's sheer emotion and lightweight appeal. Sitting in here now, this feels about as modern as a spinning Jenny compared to the Porsche. There's a flocked dash, everything's very basic, but it smells, looks and feels absolutely perfect. I can understand why these are worth more than F40s now, it's just a more special car. Specification wise, 400 horsepower from its twin-turbo V8 and 365 foot-pounds of torque. That last figure is quite interesting because if the Porsche's 369 and weighs 1450 kilograms, this thing is 1160 dry, so let's say just over 1200, maybe 1230 kilograms wet, but it's got nearly as much torque as the Porsche. They're a bit of a hamper in the wet GTOs, and you can see why. Now, the differences between the Porsche and the Ferrari are almost perfectly defined in their boot lids. The Porsche's perfectly moulded piece of plastic rises on two gas struts. The Ferrari just has this thin piece of aluminium, two little screw-in clips here, a catch that pops up, and up it comes. Look at that. It's a totally different experience, a totally different experience. And underneath, there it is, twin-turbo V8, the motor's shoved a long way forward, gearbox behind it, these two great big intercoolers you remember from the photos back in period. And then, of course, there's so much gizzard available underneath. From behind the GTO, you're always seeing bits. It's almost semi-naked. Back in 1985, the Ferrari was actually a bit cheaper than the Porsche would be 18 months later. But now it's completely outstripped the Porsche in terms of value. These cars are knocking on for £500,000 now, whereas the Porsche is still probably in the 100s. Does it feel that it should be worth that much money? I think so. I think the market rightly acknowledges that the 288 GTO is one of the most special modern day Ferrari. It should be worth more than an F40, and this car is utterly, utterly beautiful. Right, first of all, before we start, Vicky, can we just discuss the driving position? Because I know it looks ridiculous, but I must be Italian because it fits me. It does. My legs are in the right place, and I can. And if it got really big on me, I'd be a bit over there somewhere. But yeah, it's fine.
That's good. These seats are very
lovely.
It's very special in here, isn't it?
Oh, come on! This is just fantastic.
And it rides so well too.
Yeah, this is, I suppose having conventional suspension means it can actually be used properly without dampers going wrong. It's just lovely. And it doesn't feel small, it feels quite wide to me.
Yeah.
Gearbox is just lovely. And on boost, it goes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's fun. One of these is a technical statement that even 24 years after it was built still seems quite preposterous in its numbers and performance. The 959 kind of stands the test of time, even if in certain areas you think to yourself that it's a bit too much technology over emotion. The other car, though, is just, well, one of the most sensational cars ever made. The 288 GTO wins the first episode of Ferrari versus Porsche for Evo because it is just one of the most captivating cars ever made.